don't pretend that you're fine when you're not.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. That goes back to that vulnerable piece. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay. Now, again, not everyone is safe, so we want to
Mm-hmm.
make sure the person we're being vulnerable with is safe. But if I'm not okay, you don't. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna pretend that I'm okay. So don't pretend that you're okay.
Mm-hmm.
Take time for yourself. I mean, a lot of these kind of play hand in hand. You
Mm-hmm.
know, you don't have to kind of in that vein. You don't have to pretend like you're okay. You don't have to do things that you don't want to do. You can take care of you. Take time to take care of you.
Yes. Pretending is important. It's okay to not be okay. And
Mm-hmm.
it's okay to let people know, hey, I'm not okay.
Mm-hmm.
But there isn't anything I can think of right now for you to do for me right now other than give space to
Yeah.
not be okay.
Yeah. Hello, everybody, and welcome to A Better Way to Heal, where faith meets therapy. Hello, everybody. I am Elly,
And I'm Isa.
and you are here for another episode of A Better Way to Heal. Today, we're really going to talk about 3 things that you don't have to do while grieving.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And I mean, we always talk about the things we have to do. And sometimes avoiding certain things or not doing anything is the solution. Very biblical, too. Be still and know. But in this case, let's find out what things we should be doing while
Right,
grieving.
right. So, the very number one thing, I get this all the time, and I was just watching one of my old, probably 90s shows, right? Maybe 2010 ish. Anyway, I was just watching an older show,
Uh-huh.
and one of the characters lost their father, and they're so busy taking care of everyone else, they're not taking care of themselves. And so I would say the first thing is you don't have to take care of everybody around you. You know, grieve in a manner that makes sense for you. Don't don't. Uh, of course, it's different when we're a mother. We're taking care of our children, but take time to grieve your loss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very interesting because today in Bible study, we were kind of addressing that in a different perspective.
Mm-hmm.
I have a friend that their son went through a very bad accident recently, and we
Mm-hmm.
have very similar personalities in the way of handling strong emotions. We are a bit stoic in the middle of grief or in the
Mm-hmm.
middle of hardship, and we don't truly break down until we've processed it with action. And that's just we're very aware of that. So it kind of helped be her buffer during that time. But there was this incident that's part of what we're trying to protect ourselves from.
Yeah.
Um, where friends were offended that she didn't reach out for help. And I know it's with the best intentions. We have some amazing friends that really want to be there with us, but sometimes it's a lot to process. So, for instance, I can be very strong in the face of my child being in the hospital and do what I got to do, change him, do all the physical activities to perfection. But in that same day, you can ask me, "What do you want to eat?" And that will be the thing that breaks me. That
Absolutely.
decision will be the thing that makes me fall apart. So sometimes friends with the best intentions, not knowing, make it about themselves. And I know that during grief, that is something, from the perspective of a friend, don't do that. Don't go to your friend, why didn't you call me? I would have been there for you. And you will become offended at how they didn't make their grief about your comfort. And that's something we have to be mindful. I just thought of it because it triggered it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, we really have to be careful that we're taking care of ourselves, not taking care of other people. And for those, our loved ones, we definitely want our loved ones to know. One of the things that drives me probably a little batty is hearing people say, well, God just needed another angel, or they took your loved one home before, because they were out of pain. But the problem is that I'm still in pain, right? And so just be careful about the things that you say. Don't make the grief about you.
Yes.
I shouldn't have to take care of you. Please don't make me take care of you if I lose a loved one.
Yeah.
That's number one. Don't take care of other people. Care for yourself. mean, of course, like I said, if you're a mother or something like that, it's natural that we're going to want to take care of our children, but make sure we take time to care for ourselves.
Correct. And then sometimes on the other end, that might look like being vulnerable enough to reach out to somebody that you know will respect your boundaries well, because you're going to have to guard yourself. On the do side, you're going to have to kind of guard that peace that you're trying to attain and that space for grieving. And not everybody around us, not all of our friends or family can handle us grieving the way we need to grieve. So make sure you have that person that can understand that and protect us. So don't be afraid to say, I need this time for myself. And don't be afraid to make that circle even smaller for the people that can maybe care for like things in your home or children, if you have young children, while you process what you have to process.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What other don'ts do we have?
Don't pretend that you're fine when you're not. It's okay. That goes back to that vulnerable piece. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay. Now, again, not everyone is safe, so we want to make sure the person we're being vulnerable with is safe. But if I'm not okay, you don't. I mean, I'm not gonna pretend that I'm okay. So don't pretend that you're okay. Take time for yourself. I mean, a lot of these kind of play hand in hand. You know, you don't have to kind of in that vein. You don't have to pretend like you're okay. You don't have to do things that you don't want to do. You can take care of you. Take time to take care of you.
Yes. Pretending is important. It's okay to not be okay. And it's okay to let people know, hey, I'm not okay. But there isn't anything I can think of right now for you to do for me right now other than give me the space to not be okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's the most we can say.
Yeah.
And again, I kind of feel led to also, while she's addressing what not to do while you're grieving, for those well-intended friends and family to understand that that moment really isn't about you and your feelings. Kind of regulate yourself to understand that this person is trying to process emotions and feelings, and that the best thing that we can do sometimes is allow them to. And I think of Job. His friend sat with him at first. Isn't that a great example?
Oh yeah, 7 days they were the best friends in the world.
Yeah, they sat with them, and then it got to a point where it was too much for them, so they were forcing, like, hurry up and do what you got to do to the other person. Whenever we feel compelled to do that, it might be time for us, as these friends that have been supported, to go find a space to grieve and heal ourselves before we start wounding somebody. So maybe rotation. There is caretaker fatigue. That is a thing. And when people are grieving, that can happen. Of course, it's not about enabling. It's not like when our friends are depressed or whatever. There might be things that we can do to it to kind of encourage healthier things. But during the grieving process, there is a time for that. There is a time for it's okay that they haven't gotten out of bed today. It is. It really is. Just bring them food to bed. Put it next to the nightstand quietly and walk away.
I like what you're saying about checking yourself. You know, I think of the saying, check yourself before you wreck yourself. You know, really honestly, we when somebody has lost something very important to them, someone very important to them, the worst thing that we can do is make it about us. So we want to support the person that we care about, and when they've lost someone, they don't have the capacity. A lot of times we say, what can I do for you? They might not have the capacity to
respond, to answer. And that in itself is mental load. It's a mental load. So if you see a need, meet the need quietly. You know, like bring food, have somebody deliver food. You know, and that can even sometimes be overwhelming. But just kind of like think passively. Don't add another task to this person whose nervous system and mental load is already overloaded. Create space so that all they have to worry about in a certain period of time is healing.
One of the things that I like to do I don't like to do, but one of the things that I do with people that are grieving, especially immediately, is what's the one thing that we have to focus on? Let's focus on things one at a time, because there's too many things that you have to pay the lights or the rent or just taking things, being very, very, very practical. Bottom, Maslow's hierarchy of needs,
Mm-hmm.
making sure that food, water, shelter.
Mm-hmm.
Once you've done that, uh, then we can try to just, sometimes it is just being there and sitting with someone.
Yes.
But don't force someone to be okay to fit your timeline.
Correct.
And that really brings us into the third one.
Yes.
You know, there is, everyone has a specific order. We hear the 5 stages of grieving, and actually when she created these, she didn't anticipate that they would be, oh, you have to do 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. No, it can be in any order. I could be very angry at first, or I could be in denial at first, or I can have a sense of acceptance at first. And I can go through all 5 in 5 minutes. And that's okay.
Rinse and repeat.
Absolutely.
The cycle might come back.
Yes.
Yeah, whenever
Yes.
you think, okay, I think I've grieved, I feel well enough to go to the store. You go to the store, and then all of a sudden a smell of a perfume or a song plays that absolutely takes you back to the deepest part of your grief and sadness and sorrow and anger and denial. And that is also okay. Grieving doesn't really have a timeline.
No, it really doesn't.
And I know we're talking and addressing it, grieving like a person, right? But grief is not just the death of someone or the loss of a relationship. Grief can be a dream unfulfilled. Grief can be, I mean, it could be something you never had. You can grieve something you never actually had, because our minds could be dreaming and desiring things that are very real to us, very tangible, very important, and we can grieve that.
Yeah.
And me personally, I'm in a season where I am grieving our world, state of our world, our country, how people are treating each other. I grieve daily for that. And that is a form of grief that a lot of us right now are carrying, some in silence, some unable to even go to people at church and say, man, I know Jesus is coming, and I know we have victory, and I know there is a promise. I know this, but it still hurts.
Yeah.
It's still sad. It's still scary. It's still depressing to watch the world be the way that they're being, and feeling impotent in it. And that's part of the process.
Yeah, absolutely. So basically, the thing that to think about when you have when you've lost someone,
he's trying to get some word in.
Yes, absolutely. But when you've lost someone, you know, just really, you don't have to care for other people during this time. You know, take care of yourself. Don't pretend that you're okay when you're not. I mean, if you're okay, you're okay. And you may be okay today and tomorrow you're not. And that's okay. You don't have to grieve in any certain order. And one of the things I like to think about, there's a 6th stage of grief. Well, actually, depending on what model you watch, there can be up to 8 stages. But the one that to me means the most is the meaning making. You know, when I'm able to make meaning of this, you know, losing my mother was so hard for me. And even knowing that she was in pain, knowing that she was in a better place, I was with her at the very end, and I got to watch her cross over. And I had a beautiful friend that painted this picture for me of Jesus taking her in his hand and taking her dancing. And I mean, it was a beautiful picture. Didn't make me miss her anymore. I mean, any less. This year has been 10 years. And so when you hit those significant milestones, it really, it's another step in that grieving process. You know, we talk about, well, aren't you over this yet? No.
Yeah.
And that's okay. I will always have the loss of my mother as a part of my life.
Yeah.
And there will be firsts that impact us. And one of the things that we can do, it's one of the do's, is we can create new traditions. And my mother, the only poem that we have of my mother's was my unique autumn leaf. And it was such a beautiful poem. And she used to write such beautiful poetry, and it all got destroyed. I don't know what happened to it, but it's gone. But I have that. And in a lot of my pottery, a lot of I like the imagery of a leaf just because it keeps my mother close to me.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And in my case, I lost my mother when I was 3 and have very vague, faint memories of her cooking breakfast, that kind of stuff, kind of like fleeting memories. And of course, I have photos. But it's been obviously 43 years.
Yeah.
43 years since I haven't had my mother. And there's Mother's Days where it hits me. You know, it hits me. And this past Mother's Day was very hard. And I haven't had that feeling and that grief and that missing her in a long time. Sometimes it comes with my children. Like, I wish she was here for advice, or I wish she was just here being a part of this. And I know God, you know, she died a believer. She died, you know, serving and loving God and loving people. That's the memory of people that knew her. Just tell me how loving she was. So I know this, and there's a peace and a hope that comes from it. Of course, I'm not diminishing what Scripture said, but it's also a reality that she isn't here right now. Right. And the biggest example I can have of that is Jesus himself with both John and Lazarus. So Jesus knew he was resurrecting Lazarus, and he was grieving. I don't know exactly. Some people say he was grieving people's reactions. He was grieving anyway. And like what he was grieving is irrelevant to the fact that Jesus wept. And he was grieving his own potential cross. Because even though he knew that was what he came here to do, even though he knew there was going to be victory, even though he knew he would resurrect, he still asked the Father, if this can pass, if this doesn't have to be this way, please let it be so. So that emotion is normal. And then John, when John was beheaded, and John the Baptist was beheaded, he had just made the miracle with the 5,000, but he went into solitude. He told the disciples to stay behind, of course the crowd to stay behind. It was too much for him to not process it, and he got in a boat and went to be with his Father. And he went to be to his Father probably to talk his flesh into understanding all the things that he had to process, like I'll see him in heaven again. But he could have still been sad because John died for his sake. That's something he could have grieved. Like, and it was he was beheaded. Like, you know, it wasn't like it was, you know, he was in sleep and praying, and he was in prison for many months, and then he was murdered, and all of it for his sake. So I don't know what Jesus told the Father. It's not written what he told the Father while he was grieving John. But he did grieve him. It says he did grieve him, and he spent the entire day on his own talking to the Father. But I could imagine if I had that burden of me feeling guilty for that, I would be like, you know, processing, he did this for me. Am I really, you know, the enemy probably speaking into us, are you really God and he just died for you? Are you really the Son? I mean, think about it. And I like to put myself in other people's shoes. And even though I can't 100% say that's what he thought, that's what the enemy does to us. So I can relate in that way.
Absolutely.
And that's the whole point of Jesus. So we have an example that we can relate to of what perfection in God's eyes actually looks like.
Absolutely.
It's not perfection in our eyes. It's perfections in the eyes of God.
Yes. So we hope you got something out of this episode. You know, we really are doing this so that we can help people be free from some of the things that we struggle with. You know, I want to say, especially in the Christian world, we really think that we're supposed to behave one way, and that's not really what the Word says. And so we want to be able to give you a tool that you can use. We have many, many, many tools on the website that we have on a Better Way guide that really can help you process things that you've been through. So I encourage you to go out on the website and download that resource. We'll put that in the show notes for you. We also talk a lot about shame. We didn't talk much about shame today, but there's a certain amount of shame that we have.
That's what
I should be over this already. Why is this still? You know, I know people that have lost children. And I don't know how you move on from that.
Decades. I have a friend that's been decades, and she grieves, and that's okay. And she can grieve in front of us, and she can cry for as long as she needs to. And he would have been 30-something years old now. So there is no time.
Right. Absolutely. And there's no shame. You know, I mean, there is shame. We feel it, and yet, you know, the Bible doesn't shame us for that. It's the world that does that. So let's not shame. Let's not shame ourselves. Let's not shame someone else for their process. Mm-hmm. So, thank you for watching today.
Thank you. Until next time.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. Live a better way. So here we are sitting on the set of A Better Way, and we want to invite you all to subscribe so that you see the following episodes, and also leave some feedback. We are growing. You can go back and look at our other videos, and we're still trying to grow. The reality is we're super concerned and motivated by the content, but we accept your feedback so that we can grow and get this out to more people.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. So, all right. So, if you like what you hear or what you see, just depending on whether you're watching or listening, please like, subscribe, share, leave us a comment. We don't always get the comment notifications, yes. So I'm trying to do better at that. So if you've ever left a comment and I didn't respond, my apologies.
Try to tag us. If you're on social media, tag either Elly or myself, or A Better Way. We both get A Better Way notifications. So that way we can see it. If you're on YouTube, try to go to the Facebook page and find us. We will probably see that before we see any YouTube comments. Yeah. But either way, please comment and leave feedback, or you can email Elly with any feedback, any concerns, any topics that you would like to discuss related to shame, grief, and just essentially healing from
absolutely
trauma. Please give us your feedback and let us know.
Thank you for watching us. We really appreciate you being here. If you enjoyed the episode, like, subscribe, share with a friend, and join us next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.